Hello everyone, my name is Joe Ackourey and welcome to my channel, The Fly of the Week. For this episode, episode 4, I'll be tying the Bead Head Price Nymph. This is another very effective nymph pattern and fishes incredibly well throughout the entire season when fished and tied in sizes 12s, 14s, 16s, and 18s. So without further ado, let's get started. I'll see you at the vise. Okay guys, here we go. The Bead Head Price Nymph. First step is placing the bead on the hook. That could be challenging, as you know. Remember, the point of the hook goes into the smaller of the two holes. Put the point through the hole. Flip the bead up over the shank and up against the eye. Put it in your vise. Make sure the shank of the hook is parallel to the tabletop. Okay, let's start off by putting a nice foundation of thread on the shank of the hook, like such. Boom. Okay, our foundation is in. Now the next part is to put the tails in. The tails are made from Goose Biots. We're going to use the color brown. We're going to clip 2 of them off. We're going to put 1 on each side of the hook shank, and the length is going to equal the shank of the hook. So notice there's a little bit of a curve to them, to each one. You want the curves opposing each other, like such. It'll be curving away. We're going to measure that. We're going to anchor that to each side, one on your side. Good. Again, ride that material all the way up to the bead. Nice. Get our second tail. Again, make sure that they're identical in length. Put it on the other side. I kind of use my scissors as a gauge. It kind of helps me line them up a little bit better. Straight bottom edge. There we go. Anchor that one. Okay, not bad. There's our tails. All right, so for our next step, we're going to tie in oval gold tinsel. It's fine in size, and we're going to just anchor that up, tie it up against the tails, like such, and put that in my material clip for later use. Okay. So now we're going to build the body, and the body is going to be made out of Peacock Hearl, and the full length of the body will be the full length of the shank, butted right up against the bead. So it's going to take probably 4, maybe 5 strands of Peacock Hearl, and I'm going to clip off the cut ends here and anchor them along the entire shank of the hook, starting up against the bead and wrapping back, tied up against the tails. Okay, now return your thread back up to the bead, and now you can begin carefully wrapping your peacock body. And I like to overlap them to build some bulk as they get closer and closer to the bead, like such. And guys, right up to the bead, I'm telling you, it's what you want to do. Anchor that in with 6 or 7 wraps. Clip off your excess. Okay, very easy fly to tie. Take your oval gold tinsel and put 5 or 6 equally spaced wraps going right up to the bead. Anchor that. Good. Clip off the excess. Now, your collar. Your collar is made out of a Rhode Island red soft hackle feather. Hackle. And notice that there's a curve to the hackle. You're going to tie that in curving down, not up, curving down. You're going to tie that right up against the bead. Give it a good 8 or 10 wraps in there. Clip off your excess. Grab your hackles, hackle with your hackle pliers, and begin wrapping 2 good wraps, maybe 3. We'll just see how it looks. Wrapping forward, you want a nice tight collar. 2.5 wraps, and secure that 6 or 7 wraps. Clip off the excess. It looks a little messy right now, but you're going to comb all this back and form a little foundation of thread for your last material. Okay, looking good. The hackle length is approximately equal to 1.5 gaps. The hackle fiber length, which is what you want. And now, this is probably the hardest part of tying this fly. It's putting the horns in. The horns are also made out of Goose Biots, white Goose Biots. And we're going to take 2 of those. There we go. And we're going to kind of crisscross them. And we're going to make them as equal as possible. Same length, like such. And we're going to place them on top of the shank of the hook. And they're not going to extend too far back. Right? If you draw an imaginary line from the bend of the hook up, that's where the length should be. So I'm going to, once I cross them and I have my length, I'm going to kind of press down on them, anchor them in that little spot up against the bead. Clip off your excess. And pretty much fold any excess back and wrap over it. Might not be as easy to see, but I'm finished. Tying my finishing knot. Again, very easy fly to tie. And a great fly. And again, it like the Bead Head Copper John and the Bead Head Pheasant, Soft Hackle Pheasant Tail Nymph and the Bead Head Hare's Ear, this fly fishes very well when tied in sizes 12s to 18s and fish throughout the entire season. All right, guys, thanks for joining me today, and tight lines. I'll see you in the next episode. The Bead Head Prince Nymph is complete. Over and out.